Hello everyone, welcome back to this weather forecasting video. We have a lot to cover in this weather forecast. A more active pattern looks to be the possibility of returning back into the United States in the latter half of September going into October as our jet stream starts to strengthen. I'll give you guys all the information you guys need on that in just a few minutes. Drought conditions are occurring across a large portion of the country, especially over in the western United States, near the western coast of California, all throughout Arizona, New Mexico, especially down in the Rio Grande Valley. The exceptional drought is ongoing, especially also over in the Ohio Valley and the mid-Mississippi Valley, over in western Tennessee, western Kentucky. Drought conditions are ongoing over there. Hot and humid conditions are occurring across a large portion of the United States. We'll give you guys all the information on how long that heat wave will last in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and start off with the potential of a more active pattern returning for the latter half of the month into early October. As we move into climatological fall, it doesn't really look like there's going to be any fall-like temperatures throughout the rest of the country. Mainly just hot and humid conditions, unfortunately. As we go throughout the rest of this month, going into next Wednesday, there is going to be a little bit of a cutoff low pressure that comes from the northern United States down southward. This could bring a shot of cooler air and the possibility of a little bit of rainfall throughout the southern United States going into the Ohio Valley, but right now it doesn't look like that much. As we go into the latter half of September going into early October, that's whenever our attention needs to start shifting over in the western United States, whenever our jet stream starts to strengthen and we could start to get a little bit more of some stronger low pressures. Whenever you start to see these little divots over in our jet stream, that's whenever you know it really is starting to strengthen. And this will eventually give the little bit of a potential for some possibility of some significant severe weather returning to the United States in our secondary severe weather season, which normally peaks around October, November, especially over in the eastern United States. So it's starting to look like that more of a type of pattern that's going to start to occur, especially as we go deeper into October, into November. We'll start to get our secondary severe weather season start to ramp back up with our jet stream starting to strengthen. So we're starting to see the early signs of that starting to happen. But right now, thankfully, it does not look like there's going to be any big-time severe weather within the forecast within the next 10 to 14 days across the United States. It's pretty calm right now. Taking a look at the 6 through 10 day temperature probability outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, they're pretty on board with the forecast. Above average temperatures across basically the entire United States. There really doesn't look to be that much relief from the heat, at least through the 6 through 10 day range. And then if we take a look at the 8 through 14 day range with the temperatures, again, above normal temperatures across a large chunk of the country. Just the hot and humid conditions are just going to remain for basically the remainder of September. As we go into early October, we might start to get some relief if we start to get a few more of those bigger storm systems with our jet stream starting to strengthen. But then again, that could bring the potential for some severe weather. Only time will tell. Details are still fuzzy, but right now, unfortunately, the hot and humid conditions are going to remain through at least the lower 48 for the foreseeable future until we start to get one or two of those good old autumn cold fronts, and that'll definitely help out the temperatures as we go into the early and middle half of October. Taking a look at the U.S. Drought Monitor, a large portion of the country is at least underneath some sort of drought conditions. There has not been that much rain going on, folks. We haven't had any measurable rainfall since the start of August over here in Bowling Green. We have not had that much rain. But if you're over in the western United States, even worse drought is ongoing, with some areas a level 4 out of 4 with exceptional drought going on in western portions of New Mexico. Very bad drought ongoing over in the western United States. A lot of people desperately need some rainfall, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be coming for quite a while, unfortunately. Now, to round off this forecast, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the future radar. Again, take this with a grain of salt. To start off with, we can see our low pressure over portions of South Dakota. That's going to progressively move eastward. That's going to bring a little bit of some rain showers to the upper UP of Michigan. Nothing really crazy going on. As we progress it into early next week, into Wednesday on the 24th, that little low pressure system that we talked about earlier in the video, that low pressure could could potentially bring a chance of rainfall to the lower Ohio Valley. But then again, details are still fuzzy, with that being almost 7 days out as the recording of this forecast. It's just a little bit of some spotty rain showers over in the eastern portions of the United States as we go into next weekend. But overall, a very quiet weather pattern ongoing across the United States. Enjoy the quiet weather while it lasts, because secondary severe weather season is going to be around the corner eventually as we start to get some of those stronger troughs with the more moisture content. It's around the corner, but overall a very quiet and dry weather pattern that's going to be occurring across the United States for at least foreseeable future, until we start to get some of those bigger low pressure systems as we head into the middle portion of October, going into November. That's whenever we have to start being a little bit more alert for secondary severe weather season. Hope everyone enjoyed this weather forecasting video. It would be greatly appreciated if you hit the subscribe button and like the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.